Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer. Welcome, everyone, to Memorial Weekend Sunday. I take it we're ready to go, Pastor? We good? Anyway, thanks for being here. I thought I would share a story, but I don't want to be the first one to share. So if anybody else has anything they want to share, let me know, because I've got a microphone for you. Anyone? Lori.
I want to share praise because Amanda will be moving out probably not next week, but the following weekend into her new place. And so it's a great opportunity for her and to kind of be independent, and yet everything's all in one level. So if her health, well, they say when, not if, but if her health takes another decline, everything's all in one level, and she's got a ramp and easy access to the garage and that sort of thing. So it's a big praise.
That's great. And hopefully, with all that preparation, she won't ever need it.
Well, let's hope that's our prayer.
Yep, absolutely. Who else would like to contribute? Pastor.
Chris and Heather and their family were supposed to come home this summer, and they were actually going to be up here for a week visiting, but they need to get paperwork from, basically paperwork in Spain to, I guess, show that they are coming back. Otherwise, they have to stay until they get their visa renewed. So it's really confusing. But anyway, they have to get. They've got all their paperwork in, except that there's one that they need to get from the United States IRS.
Oh, good luck.
And it's normally takes 4 weeks. And then they said because of COVID, it was going to take 6 to 8 weeks. And now it's been like 12 weeks and they haven't seen it yet. And so they're coming up. I think when is it? By the end of this month? By the middle of this coming month, they need to get that paperwork in, or they're going to have to come and maybe not get back into Spain, or just stay there and wait till they get their visas. So all their plans are up in the air. So if you could pray that the IRS will get the paperwork to Chris and Heather so they can have their plans work out smoothly.
Yeah. So this is kind of old news. Maybe everybody else knows, but how is Chris?
Last I heard, he was doing much better. He's still gets tired easily. He has the long COVID, so he's improving, but it's still a struggle. He still gets worn out fairly easily. So,
okay, yep.
Yeah,
the brain fog. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? It's good to have Rex and Barb with us today. I wasn't sure if we'd see them today, but. So here's my little story. The picture on the wall about the cemetery with the flags. If you've been to many of the Spokane cemeteries, this is the weekend that they put all of the veterans' flags up. So next door to my office, there are, I think, 2,500 flags that are flying right now, which is pretty amazing. I mean, these are not small flags. These are 10-foot flags. So the team that puts the poles out, puts the flags up, it takes about a week to get them all in place. Each one of those flags has the name of the veteran written on the hem of the flag. And that person's flag is flown in the same spot year after year after year. So I was going through the cemetery the other day for a service. And as we're having this little service, I look up and one of the flags is upside down. Which is the universal symbol of distress. So I thought, well, that poor gentleman is in distress. So I talked to the cemetery and I said, is it just me? Oh, no. So they ran over and fixed it. But I thought it was kind of curious. 1 out of 2,500 isn't bad, though. So. No, they just flipped it around. If your family donated the flag to the cemetery, they will place it each year. If your family kept the flag, they won't do that, but you can still donate it if you want to. Yeah, and you may want to keep it, but some people say, no, let's, yeah. So, but yeah, it is pretty amazing. The only bad thing about this is today and tomorrow there is so much traffic going in and out of the cemeteries that you want to make sure you give yourself plenty of time, or park a little ways away and walk in. But it's an amazing sight if you can see it. So that's right. Andy.
There was a Facebook meme, you may have already seen it, but it helps you keep all these days straight. You know, Armed Forces Day is for those who are still in uniform, and Veterans Day is for those who have hung up their uniform, and Memorial Day is for those who never got to take them off.
Right. That's a good point. Thank you. Mike.
Well, it's good to be back, and was nice actually even being online with you all last week. But obviously I survived my procedure, and doctor said that everything looked good. As I guess as good as it can look from back there. But anyway, so everything came out fine, and I'm back and good for another 5 years, I guess. And so
Great.
not looking forward to that one either, but
Enjoy the 5 years off.
yeah, I'm going to take 5 years off.
Rex.
You know, my daughter put a reminder on Facebook for me the other day. It was 7 years ago. This month, I had the privilege of going back to Washington, D.C. on honor flight. I will never forget the changing of the guard at the tomb of the unknown soldier. And since then, I've had the opportunity to read a little bit more on that tomb out there, and I forget how many bodies, unknowns, are interred there. But the honor of and the reverence of those guards and the people I was sitting with really hit me. And every time I see that picture, I can see me sitting over there in the corner. A lot of wonderful memories. And then I got to thinking about when I was a boy, I used to go over to a huge cemetery in my hometown of Lincoln, and because the Boy Scouts got direct traffic, and believe me, they needed to. And I can still see at that time the American Legion showing up in uniform. And they had the old flat pot helmets that have been silverized in the blue uniform. Never see that anymore. But there's a lot of service organizations, and I also see that there's a lot more organizations that are trying to camp on the veterans to put money in their pockets. There are a lot of good ones, and it's hard to pick which one you want to donate to.
Thank you. Yep.
I'll just carry on this theme. I don't know if you are aware, but Liberty Lake at Pavilion Park, they usually have a pancake fundraiser, but they are not doing that this year. But they are still having their Veterans Day ceremony tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pavilion Park, Liberty Lake. And what they've done instead, you could donate $10 and it buys a luminary, and they're going to light those all up. So I usually go every year with my family, and it's really a wonderful ceremony and a great cause. And also,
I was privileged to see my grandson took me back to was my keeper when he went back to honor flight. That was another honor. But we sat at the table the first morning for breakfast as we were getting ready to take off to tour the whole thing. And my grandson says something to me. I said, hush up. Listen to these guys. There are two men sitting across the table from us that had gone to Vietnam. Those guys are treated like dogs. No, dogs were treated better than they were when they came back. And those two guys are saying, Bill, or whatever his name was, I'm getting a healing. Are you? That's what Honor Flight was about.
So since we're honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice this year, and the reason why I'm sharing it is because of Rex's comment on the unknown shoulder. Jennifer and I have been back there and watched that, and it is incredible. One of the highest honors is to be able to qualify for that duty. It's incredibly difficult. Two separate stories. Back in 2005, Jennifer and I went to South Dakota and wound up going to Mount Rushmore. We were camped. The people next to us said, hey, have you been to Mount Rushmore at the lighting ceremony? And we said, no. Well, get on your bikes and ride down there. So we went down as a group, sat in the amphitheater. It's just kind of dusk, and these lights that come on, they take quite a few minutes to really warm up and heat up and really illuminate the sculptures. So while that's happening,